Stop trying to play games perfectly. This is by Dom's Gaming Channel.
I was watching a streamer play Skyrim the other day, and she was struggling to defeat a mountain troll on her way up the mountain. Someone in her chat told her, just go around the troll, it's too hard, go around. And respectfully she asked that person to refrain from telling her how to play the game.
Splatoon Raiders tomorrow? I've never been a Splatoon person. Is it good?
She wanted to play her own way, she wanted to learn by doing. And it got me thinking about something. Games are better when you're bad at them. The experience is better when you struggle. And to back this up, think about this. What are you more likely to...
Listen, y'all. As someone who has started streaming games regularly and playing games more and more and more consistently, I gotta let you know, it is infuriating when someone sees that you're failing and failing over and over again in a game, and they don't give you the patience or the wiggle room needed for you to learn on your own. I don't mind people giving me tips here and there, and like telling me what to do when I ask for it, like when it's clear that I'm asking for it. But if I'm pursuing something in a game personally and I'm hammering away at it, like, and I haven't given any indication that like I want help in the situation, and you decide to give me help anyway, that's kind of annoying. Like, just let me figure it out. I don't know. Especially when it's in a game like Skyrim, where the game actively punishes you for doing wrong, and you just tell me, well, you can just ignore it or whatever, but it's clear that I'm, like, pursuing it anyway just because, like, I want to. Just let me do it. I don't know. It's decent. Octo expansion is the best part of the content, but Raiders could change that. Okay.
Remember
That's
when
cool.
you're reminiscing about a game. The moment you walked around the mountain troll and got from A to B nice and quickly, or the moment that you encountered an overpowered enemy, you had a fight, you lost, you fought it again, tried a different method, maybe a bow this time, maybe some magic, but you lost again, so you decided to go backwards. Instead of going past it, you went back, you trained, leveled up, found a better weapon, crafted some better armor.
Yep.
Maybe you got distracted and ended up doing some other side quests, but after a few hours, you felt ready to return to that mountain. You fought that mountain troll, and this time you won the battle. Which experience is more likely to stay with you? Which one felt more powerful, more meaningful? Playing a game isn't about being efficient, it's not about completing it. Like the old saying goes, it's not the destination, it's the journey. You won't find what you're looking for by completing the game as quickly as possible. You'll find it along the way.
This is why competitive players, like esports players, seem so miserable as people to me, because it feels like they've turned like being the best they can at a game into like a job. Like they don't even enjoy the game anymore. They've turned it into like a grueling task that they've got to just get better and better and better at just for the sake of being better, and they don't actually enjoy the game that's in front of them. That's how it feels like for most of these people. I know, a couple of them, like a few of them probably actually take breaks and like will play on their off time with their friends and stuff. But to me, it seems like a lot of esports players are just grindy people. And I don't know. I'm just not for that. Like, I want to be able to enjoy a game on my terms and not have it be some like dick measuring contest.
You'll find that when you veer off the path, when something catches your eye in the distance and you make your way over there to see what you might find. You find that through adversity, when things get tough and somehow, some way, you prove that you've got what it takes. You find that by playing your own way, and that's another point entirely, playing your own way. If you copy someone else's playstyle or character build, you're essentially living their experience. It isn't unique to you. A big part of what makes a game great is when it feels unique to you. People form emotional attachments to the smallest of things, and if you play your own way, you're gonna form these emotional attachments, and these will elevate your playing experience. Everything will mean so much more. Your choice of armor or weapon, side quests that you might have missed if you followed someone else's guides, that bond with a companion character that you chose just because they looked cool to you. They don't have to be strong or even complementary to your own playstyle. They just looked cool, and you wanted them by your side on your adventure for your own reasons. All of these things will matter more, because they were your choices and your decisions based on your own interest and instincts. If instead you chose to follow guides, look up builds, become overpowered and essentially be able to walk your way through the game with little to no struggle, then that strips all of that away. It removes all the layers of the game that makes the experience so special and rewarding. The game becomes a simple task: get to the finish line. I have a mate who loves to be overpowered in games, and we've always been very different in that sense. And at first, he couldn't understand my approach to gaming. The fact that my playstyle is at the complete opposite end of the spectrum just baffled him. Where he loved to have the very best of everything and know exactly how to get to where he needed to go, I always liked the struggle. I always preferred being the underdog, where every battle really mattered, where the stakes were high and I had to earn the right to progress. I preferred to not know exactly how to get from A to B and instead make my way there blindly and see what I discover on the way. If I had the choice...
This is why I always will respect creators like Juve, for example, because he does challenge runs where, you know, he tries to get to a certain goal in like Skyrim or whatever, but he always makes them fun and goofy and silly, and I've never seen him do a challenge where it's like, can I beat Skyrim without taking any damage? Or can I beat Skyrim in a certain amount of hours? No, he always does a goofy challenge that's always still like entertaining and fun, and it feels like he's having fun with the game and actually like, you know, like immersing himself in it and trying to understand it in new ways and play his way versus just a challenge for the sake of a challenge, you know? Like his recently he did, it was really silly. He did it on a live stream where he would kick a cabbage from one end of the map in Skyrim all the way to the other end and like see if he could get it to the other end like on the road. Just like who would think of something like that? Someone who like actually loves the game and is being goofy.
Between some alien technology ray gun or a standard pistol, I'm taking the pistol every day. I mean, I'm taking the bow and arrow. I want to feel like I won that fight because I've become better at the game, not because I have better equipment. I want to see proof of mastery, that the time invested in this game has paid off and made me better. I do appreciate that not everyone shares the same opinion on these things, and that's why I never tell my friend that he's playing the game wrong. There's no such thing really, you know, everyone plays their own way for their own reasons. And some people get satisfaction from completing games, working their way through their backlog. To me, that's just a checklist, it's got no depth to it, and in my opinion, that's a wasted experience. But to others, they feel satisfied. And if they feel satisfied, then the game has served its purpose, hasn't it? I have my opinion, you have yours, and that's the beauty of it really. So by making a video like this, it's important to understand that I'm not telling you how to play. I'm telling you why I choose to play the way I play. I'm telling you what I believe makes a gaming experience better. Obviously, it depends on the game.
And it sucks that, like, you have to specify that personally. You know, I just think it's really silly that we've come to a point in the internet where you have to specify stuff like this. Like, obviously, if I'm making a video about this topic, then obviously I'm talking about it from my perspective. I shouldn't have to specify, like, this is my opinion, this is my whatever. Like, you should just understand that from the video. Like, you shouldn't have to have a disclaimer from me. I just think that stuff is kind of silly, personally. Like, why are we wasting time explaining something that should be kind of obvious? Like, unless you're watching a video from an AI robot, you know, which, I mean, hey, there's a lot of that on the platform now, then I feel like you should understand that, like, yeah, obviously this is going to be from this person's point of view. Like, I don't know. We shouldn't have to waste time on that, in my opinion.
Yeah, if it's The Sims, I don't want to use Motherload. I want to get a job and work my way up, you know, buy a new piece of furniture once every few...
It always turns me off from watching the video, not because of the person having to say it, but just because of like, oh, we're having to stop in the middle of the video now because there are some people who just, you know, don't use common sense when they're watching the video and like understand that like this is somebody's opinion or whatever. It's just like silly. It wastes time for no reason when we could just be talking about it.
Days when I can afford it, build a better life from the ground up. But if it's something like Call of Duty, something competitive, of course you're going to want to be the best of the best. You know, I'm not going to walk around with a pistol and nothing else. It depends on the game, but in general, in a solo experience, the underdog story is the best story. The David and Goliath, the rags to riches, farm boy to hero. That's what I look for in games. That's what I aim towards. And by the time I do get to the end, it's just much more fulfilling and memorable. Being bad at games actually increases immersion. It makes it more realistic and feel more lived in. When you're playing Skyrim and you're trying out a bit of alchemy, you pair ingredients together, you try to make a potion. A lot of the time you're going to fail. Your potion creation will fail, and you're going to realise that not all ingredients are compatible. They won't all go together and make successful potions. So this encourages you to talk to the shopkeeper and buy recipes. It encourages you to use the tools around you to get more out of the game. When you read a recipe and realise that you've got those ingredients, so you mix them and make a successful potion, this feels earned. You're going to feel like an actual alchemist, and you're going to feel that.
I rarely ever use alchemy in Skyrim, though. Like, I know it's really useful, but so many of the systems in the game make alchemy kind of useless, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor
A sense
there.
of accomplishment that you wouldn't have felt by following a guide, by listening to a stranger on the internet telling you how to make that potion. You did this yourself. You ran into a problem and you found a solution all by yourself. And this,
because like you already have magic and stuff. And I feel like magic, like if you are a magic character, obviously if you're not a magic character, you would probably use alchemy depending on what build you've chosen. But most of the time I'm playing magic characters and like I just don't really need alchemy. The only time I'll use potions is if I find them in the world. I rarely ever make them, if any.
carries over into exploration and discovery. You know what ingredients you need, you remember them, so on your travels, naturally you're going to explore a little bit more and keep an eye out for specific plants and herbs. So in turn, you're slowing down and appreciating more of the game than you would be if you were just playing to complete quests and get the game over and done with.
True.
Being bad at a game introduces you to so much more of that game. It gives you a reason to utilise everything that the game has to offer. And this extends far beyond just alchemy. When you're struggling financially in a game, shops are suddenly quite a big deal, because every purchase requires much more thought. When your equipment is weak, crafting becomes useful because even a small improvement can make a big difference. If you can't defeat every enemy alone, companions begin to feel more valuable. And when healing items are limited, inns, food, shelter...
Until the companion AI is so bad that they end up getting themselves killed very easily, and then you're like, why did I recruit them in the first place? That's Skyrim AI for you. They will literally, like, for the first couple of enemies, tanking hits, just completely, like, blowing their way through every enemy, and then by the third person, they just become a wet noodle.
Preparation all become a key part of the adventure. Being bad at a game introduces you to more of that game because it gives the game's systems a purpose. If you already...
That's my experience in modded Skyrim, to be fair, though. Like, I am kind of being disingenuous slightly. I haven't played vanilla Skyrim in forever.
You have unlimited money, the strongest equipment, and enough power to defeat everything without thinking twice. Large part of the world just become irrelevant. There's no reason to trade, or craft, or experiment, because you've removed the problems that those systems were created to solve.
Beautiful
Struggling brings those systems back to life. It encourages you to use what the game gives you. And the experience becomes richer because you're no longer interacting with only the main objectives. You're engaging with the world surrounding them.
That's No Man's Sky? That's what it looks like now? Golly.
Being bad also allows danger to remain meaningful. And this is an important one.
Like this.
If every enemy can be defeated without effort, then entering a cave or crossing an unfamiliar area or travelling through the wilderness carries very little tension. You know that whatever appears, you'll probably destroy it within seconds. But when you're inexperienced and underpowered, the world feels larger than you. You hesitate before entering a dark ruin because you don't know what's inside. You keep track of your supplies because running out could leave you in serious trouble.
That
uncertainty gives your decisions much more weight. It creates that feeling that you're travelling through a world rather than moving between objectives, because the world is capable of resisting you. It doesn't solely exist to provide rewards and allow you to progress. Sometimes it tells you that you're not ready, and you have to decide what you're going to do about it. You can retreat, prepare, and return later, ask a companion to help, or experiment with a completely different tactic. The important part is that the solution comes from your response to the situation, rather than somebody outside the game immediately giving you...
Is this Avatar game any good? Can anybody attest to, like, its quality? I keep seeing footage of it everywhere, and, like I have a specific opinion about Avatar the movie and the franchise, so I won't get into that, but like as far as the game is concerned, is it any good? It's like an MMO, right?
The answer. And when you finally succeed, the memory belongs to you. That's why being bad at games can make them better. It keeps discovery alive. It makes your decisions
Oh,
feel
Kingdom Come's
personal
combat system
and
is
gives
so
all those
good.
overlooked systems a reason to exist. It lets the world surprise you and challenge you. It makes you admit that sometimes there's more for you to learn. Being bad isn't a phase that you have to rush through so that you can truly experience the game properly. Being
True.
bad is part of the experience, it's the hero's journey, it's how the story is supposed to start. Now, as you may or may not know, I'm not the best at goodbyes, so
W video, though, that was great. But yeah, you don't have to be the greatest gamer ever. And that's why I have had like internal talks with myself every time I see like a YouTuber or something or a streamer I watch be better at a certain game and I'm still struggling at a certain part. I've always had to remind myself like, yeah, it's cuz it's your experience playing the game. It doesn't have to be like 100% perfect every single time. You don't have to know every single little thing. First of all, because you haven't been playing the game as long as they have, so obviously you're not going to know every single little thing. But also just like, why do you have to be the best? Just play the game like how you want to play it. That's all that matters. Period. But yeah, W video. That was awesome.